Now, our next speaker has famously said, "Ever since I tasted flight, there is nothing I'd rather be doing." Tintswalo Mabunda is an accomplished pilot and trainer. Let's hear from her what it's like living in the clouds.
Leonardo da Vinci said, "Once you have tasted flight, you will forever walk the earth with your eyes turned skywards, for there you have been, and there you will long to return." I'd like to greet you all. My name is Tintswalo Mabunda, a grade 2 flight instructor at Mach 1 Aviation Academy. We're a school based in Springs Airfield in the East Rand. So usually when I introduce myself as a pilot, this is the picture that everyone has. They think I'm an airline pilot flying the jumbo jets, the Boeing 737s. Not quite there yet, but I love what I do. This is actually what I do. I spend my day flying airplanes, teaching people how to fly from zero experience all the way to their commercial flying licenses or their commercial pilot licenses. Okay, can I ask for a short assistance, please? Okay, there we go. So this objective of the presentation was for me to tell you guys what a day of a pilot looks like. And this short clip here basically explains my day as a flight instructor. So I spend my day in the sky flying planes. Early in the morning, we wake up. This lady here is not actually looking at what the neighbors are doing. She's actually checking to confirm if the weather is good enough for a flight. Okay, so the weather plays a very, very important role for us as pilots. We need to be able to read the weather, be able to decode the weather and understand what it is saying to us, because that is what we will use in order to determine whether it will be safe for us to exercise the flight that we had to do for a particular day. Before every flight of a day, we get to do what we call a pre-flight. And in a pre-flight, the pilot actually checks the condition of the airplane from the engine to the fuselage or the airframe, and also the quality of the fuel in order to make sure that they're able to execute a safe flight. So that is what the pre-flight is there for, and this is done for each and every other day of the flight. As much as this is done on every single day, not all days are the same. The first flight will start quite early in the morning, where we will be doing circuit training. And a circuit training is where we in flight school teach the student pilot how to learn how to land the airplane. And what they actually do is fly in a rectangular pattern around the runway, which is there for the safe flow of traffic. Once the student can safely land the airplane, like in this clip, once the student can land the airplane safely without breaking my back as the instructor, then we are able to send them solo. And when we send them for their initial solo, it is something that is much of a great achievement, because flight training in the circuit pattern is one of the most challenging phases of training for both the student pilot and the flight instructor. So once the student has gone solo, we're able to celebrate them by giving them their first bow on their shoulder, and we also get to give them their first set of wings. So that is a major achievement. As the day continues, there's one-on-one briefings that we get to spend with the student, where we'll be preparing for certain phases of flight. In this example here, I've got a flight that is being prepared for cross-country. And what a cross-country flight is actually when we are preparing for a navigational flight where the student will be able to go from point A to point B, meaning one aerodrome or airport to the next airport. And they need to be able to navigate, and we spend time on the ground preparing for that particular flight. Once we've done that, then we take flight. We get to identify features that we had on our maps on the ground, and we also get to find our way back home to our base aerodromes. This flight will usually take a couple of days. It does not happen over one flight, which is why I say not all days are the same in the life of a flight instructor. In between flights, when we're not in the skies or in the clouds, there is some ground school that is being covered, and the ground school actually prepares the students for either the theoretical exams and even for the flight exercises that we get to do in order to get them to get their pilot's license. When instructors are not busy with ground school or flying airplanes, we're in the boardrooms where we get to confirm that the student documentations or the student files are up to date, and we also get to update our logbooks. The flying logbook is where we record our flight time, because the pilot's experience is based on the hours that they have flown in an aeroplane. There is also some social time. People tend to think that when you're a pilot, life gets very serious, but there is also some social time where we get to celebrate birthdays, have lunches together, and socialize. Once you have completed the training as a student pilot, then you get to be celebrated, like on the clip here, where you get to get your second set of bars and you become a private pilot with a private pilot's license. So every stage in flying is actually celebrated because it's considered a milestone. When we are not busy with our flight students or our student pilots, we are out there trying to inspire young minds in order to plant a seed and raise the passion for aviation. So that is what we do on a daily basis as a flight instructor. They asked me to say what a typical day of a pilot would look like in normal everyday life, but what you would have to do if you wanted to be a pilot, I've listed some traits that you'd need to cultivate as a student in order to become a pilot. Passion is the number one thing. If you are not passionate about what you're doing, it will make it very difficult. But if you've got passion for whatever it is that you do, then you get to have an ease and enjoy whatever it is that you do. So your job does not become a hard work. So some of the traits include the listed below. And as a pilot, you would definitely need to have a good and learning attitude. So it has been said throughout the whole week that a student pilot is a learning pilot. Correction, that a good pilot is a learning pilot because you have to be learning at all times. So in conclusion, it is said that I was only given 10 minutes to conclude the life of a pilot or a flight instructor. In this clip, it will summarize what it is to be a pilot. So my name is Tintswalo Mabunda. I'm a grade 2 flight instructor, and I have tasted flights, and I forever walk the earth with my eyes turned skywards, because there I have been, and there I will always long to be. Thank you.